This is a video about some ways that you can get authoritative and really high quality citations from some sources that you probably haven't thought about yet. Now, some of these ideas have been floating around the local SEO community for a while, like SEM Clubhouse and Search Engine Land and stuff like that. Um, or other local SEO sites, and so I'm going to go through some of these ideas. Some of these ideas I really think are kind of out there, and I think might not really be useful to you, but you really can get a pretty high authority citation if it matches your business. So I'm going to mention a couple of the ideas that I think are a little more wacky, and then a couple of ideas that I think just anyone from any type of a business can benefit from. So the first one that I've seen mentioned around so a couple of these sites that I've mentioned is to have a weather station. And a weather station, if you own your own facility, like if you have a brick and mortar store where the building belongs to you, and or the land around it belongs to you, and the first couple of these will require that you have your own facility. So like if you're in like a high rise or something like that, it's probably not going to work. But if you have your own building, your own store, gas station, something like that, it probably will work for you. But having an underground weather station, not only weather underground, but basically the idea is that you purchase some equipment, and this is sort of the first reason why there's a little bit of a barrier to entry, because you have to decide, is this worth it to me? Because a lot of the equipment costs like maybe $100, between 50 and $100 to get a little unit that will um, that will give you the weather. And I'll show you. Let me see here, weather logging stations. I'll do weather stations here. Um, and basically what these will do will you can connect these to a computer, and then they will this is more of an expensive weather station, but this gives you the general idea, and then you connect it, then you have a dedicated computer in your facility that uploads this data to Weather Underground and other weather stations. And then basically what happens is you get a citation on a lot of these really popular weather sites, with your business name, your business address, your phone number, and sometimes even your website, and then that weather data is listed as coming from you. And the reason why it's powerful is because these are highly localized sites. Everyone knows Weather Underground is basically made up of hundreds and hundreds of pages. Each page is dedicated to a certain locality, and Google knows this too. So it's going to really be a hyper local and authoritative citation for you if you decide to do it. Now these are a little more expensive, in the $400. I've seen them for around $100 too, but it does require you have a dedicated computer that's on all the time where this weather data can be pumped up. So you can get the information here at rainmanweather.com, and also Weather Underground. If you Weather Underground has a little tutorial here that, if you just do a search for Weather Underground personal weather station, it'll take you to this page right here, and they give you a little tutorial for how to get some cheaper hardware and how to get set up uploading weather data to their site. And so if this seems like it might be a fit for you, I think this is a little out there, and probably if it's not, if you look at it and it doesn't seem like easily accessible to you, if you have a bunch of computers already and you say, hey, this will be a piece of cake, I'll buy $100 weather thing, and I'll do this, then go for it. But I wouldn't go out of your way for this type of a thing, because really it's not like you're going to get thousands of citations out of this deal, and you're going to be paying $100 plus having a dedicated computer to it. So if it makes sense for the sort of computer equipment that you have and your technical ability and interest, then this would be a great way to get a real hyper local authoritative citation from Weather Underground. And there's other weather sites as well where you can upload your data. So you get more than just one citation out of the deal, but it is going to be the cost of the equipment. So that's one idea that's kind of out there. Um, Here's on Weather Shack here a couple of cheaper options, $100 there, 84 there. These are just these uh, wireless weather stations. Now, and all of these sort of have a similar theme. They're all ways that you can use your location or your facility to a get citations or multiple citations by using your facility. Another one is if you have a facility that would make sense for this, if you have a lot of foot traffic, like if you have a store or a place where a lot of customers come in, like 100 to 200 a day, getting an ATM at your location is a great way to do it as well, because you end up in a lot of ATM directories. And if you just do a search for how to get ATM at your location, there's a lot of options there. There's companies that'll do this for you for 100% free. You also want to think about the type of the ATM. I know that there are common free ATM directories, like the All Point network is a really big one, surcharge free ATM network. And if you get a no free ATM installed in your business, obviously then you're probably not going to make a profit off of that, because a lot of these companies that'll install an ATM in your facility, like the ATM experts here, they will charge a fee for any cash withdrawal, and then you get a percentage of that fee. But then you don't necessarily get the advantage of being listed in the surcharge-free ATM network listings, like at the Allpoint network. So you really kind of have to weigh your options. Do you want to try to make a profit off of it, or do you want to just get the citations out of it? If you have a surcharge free ATM, you'll probably end up getting in more than just the Allpoint network directory, because there's a lot, and also there's a lot of sites that'll use the Allpoint network directory data to have their own listings of fee-free ATMs for you to benefit from. So you'll end up with a lot of citations out of that deal if you get a fee-free ATM. You'll get citations even if you use like the ATM expert type, where they are not fee-free. But these are all going to be great places that you'll get citations. And again, similar to the weather idea, you will be listed in sites where the site's focus is local facilities providing ATM machines, and most of these sites that are going to have ATM directories are going to be basically pages and pages of cities and states and where the ATMs are located. So Google's going to know that. It's going to be a great citation and a large number of citations for you out of a single ATM installation. So definitely worth it if it's something that would make sense for your business. Again, really depends on the type of business that you have and the type of facility that you have, and if you even feel like you even have time for this. But it is a great way to get some citations. You can contact Redbox as well. They're another company that has kiosks that they can install in your citation. And if you're unfamiliar with Redbox, they basically give rentals from their little machine. You can rent DVDs, and they cost like $1 or something like that for one night. And they have their own directory, so you'd end up again with a citation in the Redbox directory if you have a Redbox. There's a lot of other kiosks like this. Another one is Coinstar, which is basically like coin machines where you can dump your coin. If you have like a huge bucket of coins, you can dump the coins in, and they'll count them out for you, and then they'll print out a voucher for the cash value of those coins that can be used. But there's tons of kiosk type things that can be installed in your place of business if you have foot traffic and if you have space for it. Some of them you'll make a profit off of, some of them you won't. But really what we're talking about here is finding ways to get citations. And if you have a Coinstar installed in your machine, you're going to be in their Coinstar directory here, which again is, they have an authoritative site here, and you'll be listed in an area where it makes a lot of sense to Google that you'd have an authoritative listing on a site that's a really big brand name. So it's going to be authoritative there. So definitely, if it makes sense, could be worth it for your business. Another place that is another idea for citations that can get you a large number of citations is offering a free Wi-Fi hotspot from your location. And this is totally accessible to anyone with an office or anything with where you have 24/7 broadband internet and you already have a Wi-Fi router set up. This is a great option to get an additional citation, even if your business or your client's business is run out of their home and they have a Wi-Fi connection that they're willing to share. They could add their home address and their business name, address, and phone number there to this Wi-Fi directory. Not just this one, there's tons of Wi-Fi directories, which is why this is such a great option. I mean, if you just do a search for free Wi-Fi or free Wi-Fi hotspot, you're going to come up with tons of different directories of Wi-Fi hotspots. These are great, authoritative, hyper local, locally focused sites. And you might say, well, isn't that a little risky, sharing your Wi-Fi connection with the general public? Yes, but you can set up guest connections on your Wi-Fi network, and you can even make them password protected if you want. And all you need to do is, when you add your Wi-Fi hotspot to the directory, just have a note that they need to ask you for the password. And you can require whatever you want in exchange for that password. You can have them fill out a sign-in sheet. You can ask for their ID and use that ID to write down their name and address. That way you don't just have anyone using that. And then you give them the password to your Wi-Fi in exchange. That way it's not like you're gonna have people driving up in the middle of the night and hacking into the the Pentagon from your Wi-Fi connection. So there's lots of ways that you can control that, and like this here, this is a little screenshot of someone that has a router set up. TAM HSC is their main router, and then TAM HSC-guest is the guest connection that they allow. And then you can have certain criteria that are applied to that connection, like you don't allow certain activity, you only have certain ports open, and they can't access any of the other computers on your network and stuff like that, just to provide you with some additional protection and to separate that from the main connection that you use for your business. And anybody, any kind of IT guy would easily be able to set this up for you. It's very simple and a very common thing, and you can even password protect that guest connection, so that people have to actually come to you for the password. And think about it, if you're way back in a neighborhood somewhere, you're probably not going to get a lot of takers on this. It's not so much it's not so much to bring people into your business or whatever, but it's more just to get that citation on those Wi-Fi hotspot directories. I mean, if you just go through, you're going to have tons. If you decide to take advantage of this, is tons of citations you're going to get out of this deal. And then obviously some of them are going to be pulling data from different places from each other, and you're going to get some great citations out of that deal just by offering free Wi-Fi. Even if you're in a high rise or something like that, you could still do this. And obviously practically it's going to be a little complicated for people. Say if you're in a home, you're not a cafe or not a public place of business where people can hang out. It's going to practically, for the users, it's going to be a little bit complicated for them to take advantage of your Wi-Fi hotspot. But hey, they can drive up in their car and connect to your Wi-Fi hotspot. Or if you're in an office building, they can sit in a waiting room where your Wi-Fi hotspot reaches. But really the main point is to get that citation out of the deal, and you could put any notes that you want about how they can get a hold of your password or anything like that, to use your Wi-Fi hotspot. But this is a great use of current resources that you're already spending money on your 24/7 internet connection. You're already spending money to get your Wi-Fi all connected up, and why not also get a bunch of citations out of the deal? If you have clients, you can easily set this up for them as well. Believe me, the number of citations you're going to get out of it is going to be worth it. And then sometimes you can even get listed in some really hyper local sites that are really specific to your city or to your region or your county. For instance, I'm in Chicago here, and the city of Chicago itself actually has a site where you can locate free Wi-Fi hotspots, and a lot of these are libraries and public schools and city facilities that are offering free Wi-Fi to the community. But in here also are some social service type places and just some places that have decided, hey, we're going to have a computer lab for the public. But you could find really super local sites like this that are super locally focused. And you better believe that if I had a citation for my business on the cityofchicago.org, this is the official City of Chicago website, and if I have a citation for my business because of my Wi-Fi hotspot, you better believe that that is a powerful, powerful citation, very authoritative. That's going to help my local rank tremendously. And so I'm not listing Wi-Fi hotspot sites for you because I really want you to get out there and search and find specifically the ones that are related to your specific city or county or small town or whatever, because you're going to find some hyperlocal sites like this one that are going to get you some really um, authoritative citations. And if you look, I mean, right here, I just went in the about page of this service, and they have here the contact information for how you can email them if you have any questions about this. And so I could easily, if I had a local business, now I don't really take local clients, I'm not really optimizing my own business for local, but I could just email here digital@cityofchicago.org and say, hey, I want I have a free Wi-Fi hotspot. Can I get entered into your directory? Here's the name of my business, address, and phone number, and how they can take advantage of this free Wi-Fi hotspot. And very well could end up in this directory here, which is actually on the official cityofchicago.org website. Very, very powerful citation, and anyone could take advantage of it who already has an internet connection and Wi-Fi hooked up in their office or facility. Now, another idea that takes advantage of a facility or a building that you have, a way to get local citations. I've heard this talked about quite a bit among the local SEO community, is something called geocaching, which you can read all about it in Wikipedia, but it's basically sort of like a real-time treasure hunt type game, scavenger hunt type game, where you leave a little container full of clues for people that are playing the game, and it's a worldwide thing. People come from all over to look for these containers that are hidden in various places around the world, and you use GPS to find them and stuff like that. The problem with the idea of geocaching for a citation is everything's based off GPS coordinates, and you more than likely are not going to be able to find a geocaching site that will allow you to actually just post a name, address, and phone number of a business. So you're not going to probably get a citation out of that deal, although it is something I've heard people talk about. It's a great way to get citations, but when you really break down geocaching, the whole idea is that you have just a few clues, including some GPS coordinates, and out of those clues you're supposed to find this hidden container, and then post online on a website that, hey, I found it, and I left some clues in there, or just whatever. But really, geocaching is not that great of a place to get citations. If you see people mentioning that, don't go down the geocaching trail. You'll end up wasting a lot of time. And if you try to post a geocache and you have a name, address, and phone number listed, it's likely it might get deleted or moderated by the geocaching website owner. However, there is something that's similar to geocaching, which is called waymarking. And what waymarking is a similar idea to geocaching, but basically what you do with waymarking is there's no actual container containing clues. Basically all you do is when you visit a place, you post on the website a log. Actually, this is a bad example. Let me see if I can find one that has a log. Yeah, so here's a McDonald's in Spokane, Washington, and anyone who's into this waymarking thing can go to this McDonald's, and then they post a log. It's called logging, this waymark. All you have to do is eat at this location and then enter the items ordered from this visit in the log description. And so down here we've got somebody who's visited. It says quick find. They didn't follow the directions in their log. They're supposed to post what they actually bought and ate. But it's sort of a way that people can share experiences. You know, a lot of them are a little more enriching of experiences than eating at a McDonald's. But this is just it shows you how just any kind of business can be a waymark, and then as people visit it, they'll enter their log here and the directions for the log. And so for instance, this Cracker Barrel restaurant, now we don't know who listed this as a waymark, but whoever listed it says here to log a visit, take a photo of the Cracker Barrel restaurant. Family member can pose in the photo. Tell us about your experience while visiting this Cracker Barrel. And so basically what you could do is you can register on this waymarking.com website and register your own business as a waymark, and then down here give them some specific instructions about what kind of a log you want. You can require anything. You can require them to, take a photo. You can require them to post a story of what brought them to this specific location, or to explain why did they pick this location for their waymark. And it's similar to the geocaching idea. It's sort of a experiential scavenger hunt to see how many different waymarks you can visit and log on the waymarking.com website. But the nice thing about this that's different from geocaching is you can post a street address and the name of the business right here. And again, like these other ideas that I've posted here, this is a locally focused site. It's specifically focused on posting accurate locations of various places, which is going to be a great citation for you, and it's really easy for you to do. No reason why you should not get a citation from this waymarking website. And as you can see, just from internal backlinking of this waymarking.com site, this specific page of a simple little Crackle Barrel in Davenport, Iowa has a page rank of 3. So I think this is a really powerful way to get an authoritative citation. Just try to be a little creative when you enter your visit instructions so that it doesn't look like a blatant advertisement. You want it to look like, hey, you're wanting them to post something interesting about it, and a story or something like that, so that people actually, so it doesn't just look like you're just basically entering your business as a business in like a business directory or something like that. But the nice thing about this too is this is more and more sites like this are going to be trusted in Google's eyes because of the detail of the location information. You've got GPS coordinates, you've got descriptions of how to get there, which freeways it's near, and in general, a place where geocachers and waymarkers are going to be visiting is going to be very accurate as far as the location and things like that. So this is going to be a great trusted citation for you to take advantage of. So all you have to do is go into home and then click on categories and go into the business category. More than likely, if you're watching this video, you're looking to get citations for a business. They do have other categories, but just find a business category in here to post your waymark, and just get something that's closest as you possibly can. And if you can't, if all you can, if you can't find a good criteria, just put it in stores and retail, and give them some information about what you want them to do as far as posting the log of their visit. You can even have them come inside and say, hey, take a photo of the owner of the establishment, you standing next to the owner of the establishment, something creative and fun like that, so you look like you're actually participating in the game of waymarking, and then in return you're going to get a great citation, very authoritative, out of the deal. And then lastly, this one will only work if your building fits this criteria, but if your building happens to be any kind of a historic place, you can get your historic building registered in the National Register of Historic Places. It's nps.gov/NR, or if you can't find it at that address, just do a Google search for Natural Registry of Historic Places. And this is specifically in the US. Other countries might have this as well, but it's a great way to list your property and in there you will get a awesome super authoritative citation from the nationalparkservice.gov of your business just by listing your historic property. And so this would only obviously be work if your building is a historic property, but if you're not taking advantage of that and you have a historic property, make sure you do so. So hopefully that gets your gears turning there. There are lots of ideas similar to the ones I've listed here for you. You just need to kind of think outside the box. Those are just some to get you going, and get out there, get some creative citations, and especially any place that's going to allow you to list your business name, address, and phone number, and it's a site that's semi-authoritative or locally focused. Really take advantage of those opportunities.